Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. As today, our quest for Jay's seal of approval has brought us all the way to Oasis 5, another planet that I just now realize has an actual name, and not just a generic title. So that makes two in a single sector. That actually feels kind of weird. But, regardless, we have an ancient bunker to bust, and we're just the busters to bunk it. Let's roll on in, see what we got. I'm actually fairly certain I do recall this location from early access. As I recall, it was somewhat obnoxious to explore, but, as with many things, I am curious to see how it may have changed since launch. The main thing I remember about it is that, it was full of toxic gas that caused annoying pain sounds every 5 seconds. But I have to imagine people told them that was obnoxious. And there's our gas, right? Melting venom.
The trial.
Damage seems fairly inconsequential. It's really going to come down to how often it actually triggers. It looks like the bunker still has a working generator.
The upper limit for the concentration of toxins in the air has been exceeded. Crew members are advised to activate their respiratory protection.
I hear whispers. They are telling me to embrace the long sleep. Right, so ticks are actually fairly frequent, but they are not as loud or obtrusive as they were back in Alpha.
Can you quiet that mechanical whirring? I can't make out the voices. What are you saying? Compassion was the downfall of the righteous? What else is new?
Interesting. Before you is an ancient but wholly typical console, intended for use by people not trained in the mysteries of ministering to machine spirits. The cogitator is completely silent, but as you approach, you sense the warmth emanating from its metallic casing, a telltale sign that the machine is working. Pascal offers the cogitator a reverent bow, chanting the binaric aria of launch priming.
The spirit of this machine embodies resilience and indomitability. In this den of decay and entropy, still does it reign over this place.
Status. Water supply system. Failed. Reason. Unknown. Temperature and humidity control system. Failed. Reason. Unknown. Energy regulation system. Unknown error. Warning. Backup generator connected. Oxygen supply system. Failed. Warning. Air filters damaged. Warning. Defense systems failure. Yeah, I think we'll just leave those off. I mean, we are technically invading this place. But, good to know everything's broken. Let's have a look around. The massive door is dotted with small chips, scratches, and bullet marks. There's no sign of any hinges, levers, or anything resembling a lock. There is a dusty panel built into the wall to the right. As you approach, the cracked screen starts to flicker faintly. You pick out the most vulnerable spots and carefully affix the explosives. Nice. The mummified corpse has its arm outstretched toward the exit. On the soldier's neck is a broken respirator, adorned with the Imperial Aquila. Quite a way to set the tone. Also, I like they have the door collapsed inside the entry corridor after we blasted it. Though I do perhaps question the logistics. Error. Insufficient power. The words on the sign are barely legible. Facility 17. Planetary Defense Forces. Okay, yeah, this is starting to look familiar. Yellowish gas is slowly seeping through the rusted air duct system. Corrosion was merciless to these old Imperial bayonets, chainswords, and lasguns. Well, the place is flooded with something called melting venom, so yeah, I guess I could see that being a problem. Though, I mean, it looks like we pulled at least a few salvageable goods. We'll take those. Combi tool. Plus 10 to tech use, okay. We'll go ahead and swap out the Surgeon's Manual. Minor, but that's a +2 swing on skills. Plus, as we've clearly seen on entrance, we are starting to struggle a bit on tech use. Honestly, given how quickly some of these skill checks have been escalating, I really should start considering the skill boosting talents. The free reroll alone probably makes it worth it. A decontamination shower, a rare sight for regular planetary forces. Its purpose is to eliminate harmful agents. Sure. Yeah, you know what? I'm not sure what else I was really expecting. That does seem about right.
I always keep my options open.
Worn seal. A worn golden seal adorned with intricate patterns. Someone has deliberately scraped the coat of arms off the handle. And there we go. That was easy. 1 seal of approval acquired. So now we just have to take it back to Dargonis. Though I am still curious about who Jay was talking about when she referred to other potential sources, fences, or criminal collectors who might also have the actual missing Von Valancius seal. I mean, obviously this borrowed seal is serviceable for our needs, but it would be nice to get some closure.
I'll brush this off.
Why did I not foresee this?
At the very least, I would like to know if it ties into any of the other dozens of plot threads we're juggling right now. Not a huge deal in the grand scheme of things, I suppose, especially considering this is just an optional companion quest. I just hate missing clues or context, you know? Piecing together all the plot points is half the fun.
Let us not dawdle.
Stop mocking me.
Hold fast. The Star Allies are with us.
Stop it!
For our families. For peace. For honor. Inspirational messages stuck on loop. Let us purge our world of betrayers of the Imperium. Error, insufficient power. Oof, yeah, let's hold off on that one. There was very deliberate mention of a backup generator, so obviously the intent is for us to get that back up and running. Which should then
I always have a backup plan.
Allow easier access. Officer key grants access to the archives. A rusted reservoir for storing drinking water. It is only half full. A valve is required to regulate the flow. Well, what about this one? Okay. Right, okay. So we need a second valve, noted. I'll take that. Right, yeah, so we're looking for a valve. Noted. And there it is, tucked right in the corner.
Just a minor setback.
The one simple item you need to save your life, tucked just out of reach. I suppose that would make for a pretty basic twist. Though, you know, for us, no real pressure on this whole life support thing.
The basic rituals have been performed. The spirits of the sacred machine humbly await the order to activate the emergency ventilation system.
Always down for some proper venting. Really helps clear the air. The Cogitator's panel has dozens of breakers, buttons, handles, switches, and other control mechanisms. Status? Though I don't think we've actually changed anything just yet. Yeah. Activate venting. System check. Processing input data. Data confirmed. Compressor launch in progress. Pressure levels nominal. Warning. Error encountered. Insufficient power. Booting emergency energy profiles. Success. Pressurizing facility. Success. Booting compressor. Success. Emergency air filters activated. Automated defense systems activated. Even though I clearly did not ask you to do that, thank you. I'm sure that won't be a problem. Pascal's box hisses mournfully.
With your permission, I would extract the command blocks of this noble machine to hold a vigil for its deceased spirit. The Omnissiah preserves the faithful.
The Monkey poisoned this world, and then the world destroyed them. At least the primitive technologies they left behind can spare us from suffering the same fate. I mean, probably a bit early to make that call, but yeah, probably not wrong. That said, let's keep poking around. See if we can figure out what really happened here. Oh, a hidden stash of supplies. Nothing particularly notable, but still interesting given circumstances. Here we go. Unknown Officer's Diary. And an old key grants access to warehouse. I'm tired. How long has it been since Doomsday? I think it was the 36th year when the heretical cholera wiped out half of our people, including the old bookkeeper, Helgar. Time has stood still for us since. It was so long ago. And what a convenient solution to the overpopulation problem. Ha! The commanders think we bought this coincidence. Morons. Still, when I look in the mirror, I see my father. The same wrinkles by the eyes, gray temples. Which means that I'm over 60. And we've been underground for longer than half a century. No sky, no sun, no joy, and no hope. If that damn propaganda scribe tells me one more time that I must not lose faith, I will make him eat his own tongue. Sure, we were once so certain that we had won. The weapon of the great ally boggled the mind. I still remember how the sky shook before me and my ma and father were evacuated to this wretched bunker. But where has it led us? When I took over my father's post at the comm station, I learned that we had long since lost all communication with other PDF bases, and the stars respond to our calls with silence. These days, we don't hear any bombs landing outside, but things are still restless in the old bunker. First a water purifier failure, then a fire in the Medicaid unit. Rats chewed holes in the exposure suits. And now we can't go up to the surface anymore. Are those accidents? Or have we had a saboteur in our midst all these years? I'll keep an eye on the troops. I don't believe in miracles, but we still have enough supplies on the lower levels to last us another 50 years or so. If Ewald can finally sort the air duct problem, that is. Next time we meet, I should ask how the repairs are going. I mean, considering circumstances upon our arrival, I'm going to guess they didn't go well. I think the real question here is who exactly the Star Allies are. Xenos or Heretics seem like the most likely bet. Why else would they be so circumspect about naming them? That does seem a little corny.
Watch your steps.
Several crates of dry rations survive to this day. Each one bears a seal with the coat of the arms of the Winterscale dynasty. Right. No surprise there. This is his realm. Though I suppose that does help illustrate that these people might have actually survived, if not for the suspicious system failures. Dead in bed. That does seem to imply death came swiftly once the systems went down. Aside from that one guy we found in the entrance hall. The one with the broken breather mask. Decayed scroll. 348 years ago, our ancestors arrived on this blooming world, built the cities and the manufactorums, and founded here a society free from heresy and fear. But the immortal Emperor of Humanity, Warden of Light, saw fit to test our faith. A great war tore open a rift between our ancestors, dividing them into two factions, and turning the world into a boundless battlefield. Each day we fought the enemy, so that our children could see the dawn of a new era. An era without blood, pain, and tears. Brave people, living and dead, paved with their bodies the road to our future. And one day, the skies answered our prayers. The great star allies descended from the darkness of the cosmos and bestowed upon our great army the Doomsday weapon. And so we brought righteous anger upon our foes, and ended the centuries-long war, and welcomed the dawn of the new era. The universe will hardly notice our deed, but the God Emperor sees all. We, children of a great nation, must dedicate ourselves to this sacred mission, to survive and revivify this world, as the most beautiful flowers are revivified from ash. And hence, do not despair, sons and daughters of the Imperium, for our star allies are behind us, and the God of humanity is with us. I know that help is coming, and soon the skies overhead will shine once more. Yeah, how'd all that work out for you? Did it go well? What was the premonition Adira gave us at the entrance? These people died due to an act of compassion? Not really seeing that thus far.
You replaced your body with iron, but greed cannot be cured with cold metal. Stop looking at my gear with such avarice, monkey.
I have no intention of taking it, only of studying the unnatural perversions to which you have subjected the gift of technology.
Always keep your eye on the prize.
Right, what he said. Let's try to stay focused here, people. You can save the Xeno heresy for our downtime. Some unknown accident caused the elevator shaft to collapse. Reaching the lower levels at this point would require sending a mining team. The journal in the mess hall mentioned food storage was also on the lower levels. Someone sawed off the emergency stairs and tried to conceal the damage. Right, so definitely sabotage. And look at that, a secret box with the winter scale emblem. How convenient. Entry 100. It's been 100 cycles, and these idiots are still none the wiser about who they saved from the storm. Going back to my camp is no longer an option. Damned rats chewed through the protective suit, and these pissants are out of repair materials. Entry 104. There are some decent people here. Just civilians, like my mother. This one girl, Zimmy, even made a habit of coming by in the after hours. She asked me to teach her the letters, so she can write to her father who went to the surface 2 turns ago. Foolish child. The war has taken its toll on both sides. Hold on. Am I sympathizing with the enemy? I better put a stop to this. Entry 110. I was finally allowed entry to the upper levels, and lo and behold, what did I find there? The same supply crates as those gifted to our lords by the Star Allies. The same rations as we've been eating. The same weapons as we've been fighting with. So our lives here have simply been toyed with. If Winterscale has betrayed us, I must report this to the command, no matter the cost. I got my hands on a cutter and decommissioned a few blocks of explosives. No one noticed a thing. I bribed the archivist with 12 rations. Now I just need to get the schematics for the life support systems. Rats brought disease from the surface. The Medicae unit is packed. Just the right time for a quick short circuit. Zimmy drank the poisoned water and vomited a lot of blood. The schematics were inaccurate, but now I know for certain which pipes go to the living module and which to the barracks. The senior comm officer suspects something. It's time. Oof. And just like that, everything falls into place, yeah. So that would be their act of compassion, taking in this saboteur when they found him wandering the wastes. Only for the saboteur to then realize, I guess, that the Star Allies, who in fact were the Winter Scales, were supplying both sides, deliberately provoking on the conflict that ultimately destroyed their own world. But rather than trying to immediately use that as a point to unify the two sides, he just perpetuated the cycle. That has to be the corpse we found out near the entrance. I mean, honestly, I'm not sure how he thought he would escape, considering that it seemed to be common knowledge in the bunker that the surface suits were all compromised. Which it is a rare case of damage that he apparently was not behind, because he complained about it too. Alright, let's crack open the storage room, then I think we're done here. A grim tale that once again fully illustrates... Oop, hold up. Winter Scale's descent into depravity.
The songs of my ancestors speak of stars long forgotten and worlds long gone. What a shame that you lack the capacity to understand even a single note.
Yeah, that is a terrible shame. Thank you, Yurliet. Sworn Protector. Looks like a unique hotshot lasgun. Iconoclast keyed. +1 to resolve for each enemy killed. That's actually not bad. If we used lasguns. Which, sadly, we do not. Though that might be worth holding on to. We do, I think, have an Imperial Guard companion coming up in DLC 2. And a Melta Charge. That restocks us on the one we spent getting in. A few parchments bearing the Winter Scale seal contain plans for military operations, and a mention of the Doomsday weapon. Oop. Accidentally burned a machine right set. Alright, so just reconfirmation that Winter Scale is the main catalyst that drove these people to destroy each other. Which ultimately does kind of fit pretty well if we assume that long term we will face one avatar for each of the 3 Chaos Gods. Conrad Voigtbeer for Zench, Winter Scale for Khorne, which I suppose would imply Incendia Corda for Nurgle. 3 primary rivals, each linked to a different Chaos God. And yeah, that's got to be our Saboteur. Oh, right, yes, of course. Right, the defenses. Forgot about those. Okay, well. This is ever so slightly problematic. Alright, let's take these things out. Should be pretty straightforward. We just need Abby to hold their attention whilst everyone else dismantles them. I think our main risk here is just being stuck in close quarters and the first couple of turns before we build up all of our various buffs. But let's see. Oof, wow. Let's see how long it takes us to focus one down. Oh, shoot, right. Okay. So despite looking like they take up a 3x3 space, they're actually only in the center space. Duly noted. No point in using the forced move. I know from the patch notes they fixed that. Which is a shame because I can already tell this is going to be a bit of a slog. Would have been nice to be able to group them up for AoEs.
Request approved. The Omniscient knows all, comprehends all.
Alright, well, this might take a bit. Oh, ow. Yeah, that hurt. Though, as we saw, our main frontliners are already pretty resistant. So that'll be a non-issue once we get them focused on Abby. In fact, you know what? I feel like we've already seen pretty much everything this fight has to offer.
Indeed.
So yeah, let's just skip ahead.
Request.
And thus it ends, my goodness.
Rise to the top or get left in the dust.
Honestly, you know, aside from the shattered ribs in round 2, that was really just more a war of attrition. Let's see if there's anything else we can do on our way out. No, I think we're good. Let's head on back. And, you know, technically we're at time, but I can already tell I'm going to be cutting a big chunk of that fight out. So in theory, we should have time for one more thing. Lord Captain, the crew that was sent to the surface reports that they have cleared the collapsed passages leading to the lower levels. After exploring the abandoned rooms, they discovered valuable cargo that has already been brought aboard. Nice. I don't suppose you'll actually tell me what it is? Yes? No? Huh. Alright, well, I guess I'll assume cargo or profit factor? Or perhaps nothing? Regardless, yeah, I'd say we're probably done here. Though we can still land there. Maybe I'll poke my head back in, see if anything's changed. Yeah, you know what? Give me a sec. I'll give the place another quick once-over. I've got to reset my timers anyway. One sec. Hey, we're back. And yes, while the bunker itself was in fact still empty, the final reward we received was additional cargo, which I went ahead and cashed in, bumping us up 1 rank with Fellowship, and 2 with Kaspalika, which in turn netted us these rewards. Nothing all that great, really, but some mildly interesting stuff. The Apex gloves here, for example, allow the wearer to cash in on a bounty hunter's bounties, but not actually set new ones. So kind of nice, but still, you know, of very inherently limited use. We also got these crit gauntlets, which grant plus 10% crit, or plus 20 if you haven't moved. Potentially useful for Abby, but not really worth swapping out his weapon skill gloves for. And the fusion gun, an Aeldari Melta weapon, which is listed as a pistol, so that, at least, we might get some actual use out of. Assuming we can actually use it at point-blank range, that would be a good way for Yurliet to defend herself in close combat. Also gives us another potential option against higher armor foes. That was definitely an issue with those turrets. But yeah, aside from that, not much else to say. Let's make our way out to Silence of Mersegret. See if we can rescue that ship in distress. The tech priest reported a brief malfunction in the Gellerfield generator that left the vessel exposed to the warp for a brief second. According to the Enforcer reports, something did manage to get into the ship. It is now prowling the dark corridors of Loading Bay 5. Oh dear. Wait, do we have people in that sector? Because if so, I definitely don't want to just lock it down. Let's assume the worst. We'll just send in patrols. Try to minimize casualties. Which apparently nets us 30% of a heretic stack. Interesting. Several armed teams left to search for the unknown creature that had invaded the vessel. All but 2 returned with nothing to show for it, but hair turned prematurely gray, and horror stories of what was happening in Loading Bay 5. One team brought back a bizarre trophy, allegedly found behind a shattered bulkhead. The last team was never seen or heard from again. That is unfortunate, but also just another Wednesday in the warp. Let's check in on colonies. Nothing new there. So, on to Mersegret. Once more under the warp, my friends. A warp breach. This time, trouble came straight to the bridge. Malodorous mist, teeming with swaying, nightmarish figures, has rolled through the ventilation shaft into the command center. The officers are suffocating from this wave of corruption. There's no time to deliberate. To battle! Fair enough, let's do this. Honestly, nice to get an actual fight in. That turret thing barely qualified. Really more a test of endurance than an actual fight.
I will exterminate every last one of you.
Alright, so what are we up against here? Ah, I see. Zombies. And a couple of plague bearers. Simple enough. Honestly, unless they've really ramped these things up, this is a pretty trivial threat to us at this stage. We'll try to make short work of it. Yeah, we'll get primary DPS funnel down center. A melee fighter on each side. Unless they hit us with a twist, I'll give this 3 turns. Adira up first.
Will do.
Set zones. Then light them up.
Anything else?
Yes, I would like you to vaporize the front ranks, please. Oop, sorry. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that causes revoltage. I'm sure it's fine. Continue whittling. You saw nothing. Clear left.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all. I'll enshrine the memory of this righteous moment.
And left cleared. Oh, okay. You know what? That actually does make me feel better about the friendly fire. They're less here to help us and more here to become a secondary threat. Fair enough. Also, knock it off.
Pay with your blood in the name of killerMinnow.
Oh, nice. Yes, that's a fair chunk of damage. Plague Bearer 1 at half. Shoot, okay. No LOS from here. So you know what? Let's get Valen on right. We'll pull Abby back, have him help clear center. I feel like we're getting some slightly misleading damage forecasts all of a sudden. Likely a side effect of the recent patch, but not a big deal. Abby? Lock him down. Nice.
Break them around. Follow my lead. Weapon at the ready. My faith strengthens me. Onward!
Guys, it's not that I don't appreciate your zeal and all, but you might want to back away from the roiling clouds of bilious vapor.
Was it you? Or what an unfortunate turn of fate?
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
Nice. Actually getting some decent use out of that Requimator.
As the tactical imperative dictates.
Might actually be worth rounding Abby's will up to 40. Of course, that's assuming we keep the Requimator long term. I don't know if that's really worth the slot, but there are other benefits to bumping up will.
The scriptural prognosis is favorable.
Plaguebearer 1, out.
I am not your Xenos pet, monkey.
Yeah, 3 turns seems about right. Plaguebearer 2 at half. Ah, poor guys. I told them to back away from the bilious vapors.
I'll make it happen.
Oh well, now they're properly ventilated.
Stay vigilant. Follow my lead.
Oh.
Break their morale.
And wrapped ahead of schedule. Nicely done, guys. We'll pour that extra round out for the Fallen. Let's grab our loot and be on our way. Oh, wow. Nothing on the Plague Bearers. I would have at least expected some token cargo. That's fine. Still some decent XP. Helps bridge the gap. On we go. On site at Silence of Mersegrit. And we have a colony event pop-up. Seems a bit late in the game for that, but sure, why not? Oh, wait, is this one of the... Right, that might actually be one of the random negative events that can trigger while you're traveling around. I don't think they actually had those back in Alpha, but my understanding is that as you travel, there's a random chance they'll proc at various colonies, and that proc chance is directly offset by your colony security stat. Okay, well, if we have multiple events in the queue, we should probably hold off on that till next time. That said, still, decent amount of progress. We cleared the ancient bunker, cleared Fallen Star, nabbed that seal for Jay, and also made some decent progress with our colonies. Then we're leaving off poised right on the cusp of more colony projects, as well as that merchant rescue quest. That said, we'll hit the pause button for now. I'll do the usual off-screen bookkeeping, figure out where we're headed after we do the rescue mission in Mer Segret, and we will pick up here next time. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Eerie V23, Revenant, Alois, CrowkingLoR, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, EgonAlter, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
Compassion was the downfall of the righteous? What else is new?